Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Right, today it's Monday, we're back to the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map at the moment, and it's this one. Now it has a couple of check boxes alongside it, which means that it's not going to be a popular map in terms of your viewer votings. First of all, it's got a bit of pre-built infrastructure, and secondly, it's based on another computer game and usually they are not well received. Having said all of that, do you know what? This one's got a little bit of magic about it. Just a little bit. I think you might actually like it. You might. And if you do, you'll be a winner. And if you're a winner, then you should be playing a game like BonBonBingo, because you never know when you're going to be a winner on BonBonBingo. There's definitely a few of these which will be in today's show. So link is in the description. You know the route. And also, if you know the route, you'll know the routine. And if you know the routine, you'll know there's going to be a daily reminder. And it'll be coming up about now. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Lost Heaven by mr.pixelcat. Yes, a little bit of pre-built infrastructure, not a huge amount, based upon a game within the Mafia series. If you played Mafia or any of those, you may recognise the layouts here. There's your start square. Yeah, pre-laid out, but hey, come on. We can allow these things occasionally. Terrain heights look pretty playable, I would say. Quite an interesting layout today. We've got resources, some fuzzy trees mostly, and some fertile land and bits and pieces. It's kind of there. Fishing, if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, will look just like this. And off to the workshop. Oh, what do we need today? Well, there are a few little bits and pieces. They've steered clear from using any DLC, which is kind of nice to see. There's a generic tree pack, a road you will need to subscribe to, and a couple of bridges as well. We'll be using the Revy 4K theme and the Relight 3 Soft LUT. There are also some settings for post-processing FX, which I did look at. And to be honest with you, it just changes the bloom very slightly, the settings that have been given. Right, okay, edge of map. We have got what I'm going to call national roads. They're not strictly national roads because we're not using network extensions 2. We're not using mass transit. We're using a custom road, which is effectively a national road. So we're going to call them national roads, but strictly speaking, it isn't, sort of, is, sort of, you know what I mean. So yes, we are completely ignoring dynamic resolution and post-processing and all the recommended extra mods. We're just running with just the usual mods today. And of course, generic tree set. Nice little set of trees, a generic tree set. No grumbles with those at all. So yes, we've got a little janky there. I don't know if you can notice a little bit of a janky going on at that point. Very mild janky. And where there's a janky, there quite often is a jinky as well. And you will not be disappointed, or you'll be very disappointed by how mild the jinky is as well. Very mild jinky there, tiny little thing. Nothing to worry, and certainly nothing that the map is going to get marked down on. But those of you that are playing BonBonBingo may be looking for the words jinky janky, and there they are. So yes, in terms of this map, there is something. I mean, it's not magical, but there is something magical about it. And it's one of those maps that I should really hate, but I don't. I really don't. It could do with highways. This is the one thing. Because we do have outside connections, which are these national roads. And here's our first intersection, which is a crossroads. And we will see traffic coming in from the left there, which actually heads off to the edge of the map. So that's an outside connection over there as well. So you can see we've already got a little bit of a tie-up of traffic here. If we were to go right here and go straight down there, that's a direct route to the start square. We're going to go this way. For reason, you can see we've got traffic going this way. So clearly there's an outside connection this way as well. Now the creator, I'm guessing has, well, I'm pretty certain doesn't have the unlimited outside or the unlock outside. Which one is it? It's unlimited outside connections is the mod, isn't it? Again, Bloody Penguin, I do believe is the creator, because we have 4 road outside connections, and that's it. Well, 4 in and 4 out, and that's it. That is the vanilla standard. Of course, we could have had more. You don't need to have the mod once they're in place. You don't need the mod to make them work. I don't believe so anyway. It's certainly not something I remember having been a thing. Got a nice little simple bridge. We'll have a look at the bridges later. The bridges on today's map are a winner. The edge of map, water spawn is there. I don't mind that. It is right off in the depths of the fog. And speaking of fog, actually, that reminds me. The reason what you may have seen at the start of the show, today's show took me 5 hours or thereabouts, mostly because I had to reinstall Steam this last few days, and all sorts of things needed resetting, and I think I've had to reload this map about, I don't know, 10 times. Nothing to do with the map. It was down to having to reinstall Steam. Now here we go. This is a point here that there would realistically be an outside connection here, one would suggest. I feel that is definitely what would be there, outside connection, but there isn't one. But it's alluded to, and I'm guessing, again, I've not checked the original game maps, but mr.pixelcat has been true to the original map from Lost Heaven. So I guess without having the unlocked extra connections, that's the best we're going to get away with. But it does mean that traffic is traveling a long way. Admittedly, at least it's away from the city centre. So there is that, but there is a lot of tied up traffic out on these later on the outside roads, and traffic coming to your city to start filling it up is going to have to deal with traffic flow like this. Like, again, this is an awkward connection. I think replacing that with a highway and a decent intersection is the way to go. Obviously outside connection all the way off there in the fog somewhere, and also that route there takes you to an outside connection, but not one that we have traffic coming down from, so there is something there. Now heading due south or north, or whichever way the way the map was facing, we're now going due south, heading towards the start square, and of course we've got level crossings as well. So yes, being true to the original feel of the map is going to cost this map a little bit of playability, but I think it had to be stuck fairly truthfully, you know. I'm guessing this is a dam in the in-game. I'd like to have seen that actually worked on a bit, to be either actually using the vanilla dam in place there or making a custom fake one. Either one would have done fine. That doesn't bother me which way that it would have been done, but I think certainly the way that it's been left is there's nothing wrong with what we're seeing there. Nothing wrong with it at all. Just could have had a little bit of magic spent on it with some vanilla assets. Could have made that really pop, and maybe time permitting, I'll do a special where I'll create a custom dam down there. Not promising anything. I've got a lot on, and a new Let's Play series coming for you guys very shortly as well. Episode 1's already recorded, actually. Okay, we made it to the city centre, or where would be the city centre. Now let's head over and have a look at the rail. Now you may have noticed mr.pixelcat was really very good there. We didn't see a single tree in the road, and you'll notice there is not a single tree on the rail. Also, no catenary chaos on today's map. Also, no blue mantle. That you cannot check off blue mantle just because I said blue mantle today. There is no blue mantle, which means if you've got blue mantle on your bingo card, you cannot cross it off, right? That's the rules. The rules for today anyway. Although I did say the word, so therefore maybe you can. Oh, whatever. Do whatever you want. The rail does go down a little bit of a slope here from the outside of the map into the middle of the map. Just a little bit steeper than realism, but again, a lot of people aren't going to mind about that one. If you like the map, you're going to be very happy to be able to deal with that. It's not a huge problem. Then the rail follows along the shoreline here. Going to go a little bridge, and so there's a lot of interesting bridge work on today's map as well. And then this is going to cut up through the industrial area where there are a couple of those buildings on the right, which we'll have a look at later. No catenary chaos, and as I said, no trees on the road. Except on the rail, sorry. Except for one little location, and it's quite common for us to see this one. I don't know what goes wrong here. Going into a little tunnel now. We're just going to skip out the other side of the tunnel, and you will notice at this location, trees. I don't know if this is a late bridge brought in, but yeah, we've got a few trees clipping through the underside on both sides of the river, over this side as well, and then one right there, and that's it. And now we're back to a completely clear line. I suspect, yes, maybe this rail line was one of the last things. A slight dip in the rail there in terms of gradient, and we'll have a little gradient to get back up to the outer part of the map as well. Plenty of things to look at still. Not too much that I'm going to be grumbling about. They're mostly points where I go, hey, have a look at this. Nice things, talking points, interesting areas. Little bit of a dip there on the rail. Ooh, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. We'll let that go, shall we? No, I don't think we will. But it's a map that doesn't have much wrong with it. A map which has a fairly interesting terrain. A map that's following the guidelines from another computer game, which in turn was quite popular. So we've probably got a bit of a support for this map already. Interesting junction going on here that heads off. That goes right to the top of the map there, following the rules as always. But we're going to go off the near route because we're not going to learn anything else by going up that way. More no catenary chaos. And we're going to head off the edge of the map here, which means it's going to be time for an intermission. Here we go.
Everybody's favorite factories everywhere these days. Look, there's even one in the back of this hoodie. Want one for yourself? Then click the information button now. Come on, you know you want to.
And so back to the shipping routes at Lost Heaven by mr.pixelcat. And this is almost excellent. Almost. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Shipping route goes into where the harbour area would naturally be in this area. It makes sense to me. And then we have this sharp turn here. Any ships coming from the right going off to the other side are going to have to do a sharp turn at that point. We could use a shipping triangle just to cut that angle off so that ships can just bypass if they're just going to bypass. Fortunately, there are no ships on there at the moment, but I did see one in the early stages of recording this show before it became 5 hours of hell. Hell, I tell you. Again, not the fault of the creator. Don't know what was wrong with Steam, but yeah, definitely problems. Water flow, yeah, we have water flow flowing on both sides of this central island, which means we can pump and draw without any concerns. So, plenty of things to look at. Where shall we start? Do you know what? I think the bridge is, okay? We've got that low bridge there. We have and this is the Bay Bridge. I don't remember which one. I'm sure it's the Bay Bridge. And then a low rail bridge. And then we have the Stone Bridge. Love this asset. I really love this asset. And then a rail bridge with the break in the middle with the cover. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. And then another low bridge there. And then we have a creative bridge over here. Liking this as well. Do you know what? There's a lot of good bridge work going on. This one really feels quite old as well. It's like something out of the early 1800s maybe. And then we reach a dam where there is no dam, but there could be a dam. There's nothing stopping you from making a dam there. I'm damned if you do, damned if you don't. And damned because I didn't. Okay, trees. There's a bit of tree spamming of the large tree brush. I don't know if you can see the shape of that. Now, is it a problem? Not really. Only from a great height can you really see like the repeating patterns. Bump, 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 bump. Only from a great height. I'd like to see a little bit more blending, but to be honest, very few people are going to notice really anything, apart from in one or two areas. And we've managed to avoid any trees under the road, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. We have a pre-built airport area as well, and like I say, pre-built city. Oh no, not there. Over here, pre-built city centre as well. Now I've got a minor grumble here. This is a little bit of a bump on the road there, but if you read through on the description while we're on the description page, you'll have read about these grass roads. Now they want to, well, the original game included trams, but to have trams you've got to have snowfall, and if you haven't got snowfall then you won't be able to play this map. So they put the tram routes down as grass-lined roads like this. We're not going to follow all of them, just going to show you that there is a grass-lined route where the trams would have followed. Up here, take a little right here and a little left here, and then over this way, and then heading up, and there'll be a loop back at the top as well. I think this is very nice indeed, a very clever way of doing it. So if you have snowfall you can upgrade these roads to trams, and if you haven't got snowfall you can still play the map anyway. I like that, a very neat idea. We also have an overground metro, which is now of course 100% vanilla, so that is a very nice thing as well. Very slick. Right, let's have a look at this hill. I have a slight problem with this hill. It's the eyesore of the map for me. So that light yellowy colour, that is oil, and then we have the texture of the rock, and then we've got the trees growing on the rock, and for everything about that hill I don't like. The shape's okay I guess, but everything else about that hill I really don't like. Then we have a really interesting waterfront, starting off with the Essential Lighthouse. Isn't she lovely? And you've got a few trees that are very close to the water's edge, probably a bit closer than I would personally have liked them, but nothing too much to grumble about. We've got the shipwreck, and then if we head down this way we've got a couple of sort of wharfs, and of course everybody's favourite factories. Boom. I had to do it. And then we pull back, we have got the start square, and somewhere near the start square is an asset too big to go in the pre-built road network over there, so I put it over here where there's a bit more room. It's the First National Bank Tower by Camdyn, who we did a week or two ago, and while that asset was nice, and it was nice, it was the sort of asset where you go, oh, it's their first asset and it's quite nice. Well, they've definitely upped their game. This isn't quite nice. This is marvellous. This is a must-have. Real life location bank, and I don't remember which American city it is. Was it Omaha? I think it might have been Omaha. I don't remember. But anyway, it's an amazing construct. Thanks Camdyn, I really appreciate this. That is great work. Factoids though, before we go any further. Factoids, because factoids. Eleanor of Aquitaine, who was married to Henry II of England, set up and presided over a unique set of courts called the Courts of Love. Abstract love problems were discussed and solemn judgments were made. Yeah. Did he put the toilet seat down? No, he didn't. Right, that's it. First National Bank Tower by Camdyn. Absolutely love that work, Camdyn. Love it. That is what I call an asset. It really is. Okay, we need to find a spot for the thumbnail, so let's go and do that. And while I'm doing that, your chance to vote on today's map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, it's kind of nice, isn't it? I think it's not mind-blowingly beautiful, but I think it looks like it's meant to, and how it looks is quite pleasing on the eye. I think I can give this 4 stars. I cannot be generous and give it anything more than a low 4, but I think it falls into 4 stars. Detailing, there's a reasonable, there's not much holding this map down in terms of detailing. Not much. 1 or 2 minor grumbles here and there, but other than that, I think again we've I'm going to be generous on this one. I'm going to give it a low 4. It feels like between a high 3 and a low 4. Let's go low 4, because I have to give it a sting in the backside for gameplay. I'm going to give this one a lowish 3. It's playable. which is why it's getting 3 stars. You're not going to be really unhappy with this one, but Lost Heaven by Mr.Pixelcat is going to struggle for traffic, and it's going to need upgrading, and so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a fight, a little bit of a fight, that map. But thanks, Pixelcat, thank you so much, and thank you for still being here, and thank those guys up there for being around as well. Without them, this show would probably no longer exist. And if you want to support the channel, head on over to patreon.com/BonBonB. But if you're still here, well done for reaching out and hanging on to the end. Use the word of the day into the comments, score yourself some population points just for fun, and I'll be back tomorrow with the request map. See you then.